Alright, so this is recording and then we'll sit this and then we can edit and stuff. So one of the things I wanted to do is talk to business people, right?
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we have as Latinos, I don't know how you grew up.
I grew up poor as shit, bro. Single mom.
So,
single household.
It's this. Well, we'll get it going right now. So let me see where we're at. You want to test your mic real quick?
Mic test, mic test.
We'll get bigger mics eventually, right? But right now this is what we got. And I've been trying to do this for a minute. I never have time. So, all right, hold on. Give me a second. Where is the viewer? There are chairs and stuff for your wife and your kids. So you can sit down and stuff.
They'll figure it out.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Your kids, they're not here?
Nah. Like I said yesterday, we had a party, and let me just see what this is. Okay. So that's just, we had the song made for the podcast.
Get a picture real quick, Give me a second. Perfect, yeah.
All right. So this is the Me La Pelan Podcast, or you can say Laconecta Podcast. One of the things that I want to do that's a little bit different is I want to speak to people in business, right? People that started from the bottom and are doing something with themselves, because I think that a lot of Hispanics or Latinos, especially if you grew up the way that I grew up, poor, or in the hood, or whatever you want to call it, in the barrio, we only see a few options out, right? Number one is drugs, obviously. Yeah. Me being from Laredo, that was the number one thing, is selling drugs, right? Number two is lately it used to be like basketball players and football players, but I guess because we're Hispanic, we're short, we want to be rappers. Yeah. So that's the number one, number one and two things that we want to do, because we feel like this is the quickest way to make money. And I want to show people that there's different avenues to make money, but if you don't understand how to make money without having to sell drugs or be a performer or whatever, then how are you going to get there? Because that was my struggle, right? Nobody showed me, yo, this is what you should be doing. This is what you should be investing your money on. No one told me about investing money. No. So I've been seeing you. You've been doing a lot of real estate, like little seminars and stuff, right? Like you've been going live and trying to teach people about how to sell houses and real estate and stuff like that, right?
Yes, sir.
So is that something that you've always done, or how did you go about that?
So basically, I first started doing real estate when I left my job. I quit my job to go to Vegas, pretty much. They gave me an ultimatum and said, hey, if you leave now, you don't have a job. I had been there for 5 years, and I was like, wow. And they were making me say, hey, if I leave, I'll lose my job, because I was late, bro. And I was late one too many times, right? And this is what made me start my business. My vice president of the company told me, I really don't want to let you go, but I have to. And I said, okay. He goes, but always remember, you're always going to have to answer to somebody, and you're always going to have to be on time to someone else, unless you're your own boss. I took that, and I never let it go. I ended up.
What profession was that, or what job was that?
I was in banking, bro. Banking? I worked as a manager at the car service department. Okay. And it was cool. We pretty much managed the credit cards, balances of our high-level clients. And I was only making about $50K a year, bro. And I wasn't happy. I was barely making ends meet with $50K. And I had to figure out something else. But when he told me that the only way I'll have to stop answering to somebody is if I'm my own boss, it set me off, bro. And after that, I figured out, what can I do to be my own boss without college? Because not all of us have money to go to school. Yeah. Not all of us have financial aid. Some of our parents can't be part of our financial aid because it's going to mess up whatever benefits that they might have. And because of that, I see a lot of people, especially our Hispanic people, they'll say, man, I can't go to school. Yeah. I can't do FOSFA. I don't qualify. And so then they go to rapping, drugs, you know. Now, I know some people are starting the trend of bringing illegals over per carload. Oh, yeah. You know? And they do that probably a lot in Laredo.
Yeah. See, in Laredo, it's very easy to get into that type of career path, right? It's very easy. You could move illegals, drugs, pick up vehicles, drop off money, get money sent to your name. There's all types of career paths, and it's so easy, right? And like I said, what they call the OGs or the big homies are really setting you up to be a crash dummy.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel so much anger towards what they call the OGs or the old heads or whatever, is that they're not teaching the young guys nothing.
No.
They're only teaching them how to keep fucking up because they want eventually for these to be the new guys that they're going to use, and then they're going to, like I said, be crash dummies, and then that's why they start teaching them like nothing but stupid things, right?
Yeah.
And, hey, spend your money on strippers and this and strip clubs and clothes and the Gucci's and the Versace's, but they're just showing you how to get quick money, how to spend that money stupidly, and they're not telling you how to invest or how to make a business or create something that's gonna last you longer than a few months. Because like I said, I came up a different path. I had nobody to turn to. I had no role models on how to create a business or how to invest money. And similar to your story, the reason that I started Laconecta I was working at a call center. I had no education. That's the number one thing here in San Antonio, I think, call centers. Yeah. And the guy was telling me like, "Hey man, you took too long in the restroom." He's like, I need you to clock out or whatever." Yeah. So I went off on him. I'm like, "Yo, fam, I'm a grown ass man. I'm not gonna ask you for permission to go to the restroom and then how long I'm gonna be in the restroom." Had it not been for that guy, I wouldn't have started. And when I started Laconecta, or like officially Laconecta, I told my girl, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna quit." She's like, "Well, as long as you make money to pay the bills, I don't care what you do." And I started with just trying to make $100 a day at that time, right? But back to what I was telling you was when you decided to get into real estate, how did you make that decision that was going to be your career path? Like, who told you, "Hey, this is what you need to do"? Because I know that for forever, that's what people say. That's where the money is in real estate.
Yeah. I think for me, it started out with, I Googled real estate, right? And the only reason it came to my head, because I sat there and I sat after Vegas, and while I was in Vegas, I'm looking around, and I'm like, man, it's hotels. I wonder how much they charge per room. I wonder if somebody can rent out a hotels at Airbnb. So I started Googling Airbnb, and I was like, okay, and I was like, I need to own my own. So I started figuring out, can I qualify for loans? And so I started Googling this thing called Bird Dogs. I Googled Bird Dog, and I put free ways to start in wholesale real estate, and it came up with this thing called Bird Dog. So I started reading everything there was that made a bird dog what to do. Then I started reading everything as a wholesale, and I'm like, yo.
So what is a bird dog?
So a bird dog is somebody that'll just go and drive around in a neighborhood and write down every address of every distorted home they see, every home that looks like it's falling over, overgrown, and they write all those addresses down, and then they give that paperwork to a realtor, to a broker, to someone that's a little above them to go and do the research and find out where all of these people are located. And so I started out doing bird dogging, right? Sent a couple lists out, and I was like, okay, well, I haven't got no callbacks. I'm like, man, they're not taking me serious. I got to do it.
So the bird dog, that's like basically you get a percentage if, like, let's say they end up getting with the account, or how does that work?
So when you do a bird dog, usually they give you a referral fee. So the referral fee would be about $500 to $1,000 for them closing the deal.
So this is just you going around the neighborhood, writing down properties that you see could be maybe sold or need to be bought?
Yep, just me going down the neighborhood and say, man, look at this empty vacant lot. Let me look at this house that's falling over. And it's absolutely free to do that. Absolutely free, guys. I wrote down 50 addresses, and in the first 50 addresses, I popped my first sale. So the law of numbers, guys, in real estate says for every 50 doors that you either knock on, 50 doors that you send a letter on, or every 50 people you talk to, you should land a contract or a follow-up. So if your first deal, I mean, I have some people that we've done some classes with, their first deal, bro, was 6 figures. One deal. And they were doing it part-time. One guy was working at McDonald's. Overnight, he became a 6-figure earner off of one deal. Just following what we're trying to teach, because it's free. It's free. Everything we're teaching people is absolutely free.
So once you have this list of houses, right? So then would you find a realtor and tell them, hey, I got all these, I got a list of properties that I found.
Yeah. So once I got my list, I said, okay, well, who on Facebook do I know is one of my friends that's a realtor? I reached out to her. Her name was Amanda Venezuela, and to this day, I still work with her. She's still my prime bread and butter. I never forget her. She was with me when I was nothing, to being with me when we're multiple figures deep, we have a company, and I still will go to her, bro. Shout out to Amanda. That's DJ Hamburger from 98.5's wife. She's a great realtor. And I would send her my list.
Yeah.
She would get my list and say, this one works, this one doesn't work. Hey, I was able to find this one for you. And then I'd make a phone call and try to close a deal. And so it's really important to network and make a relationship with realtors.
So is that another step?
That
trying
would be
trying to close the deal.
Yeah.
So that's a few steps away from how you started as a right?
Yeah. So the first step, I sent her the list. She would tell me what wouldn't work, what didn't work, and that's how we kind of went from there. And then.
And you're doing this with no finances, right? Like you don't need to have any type of money to do that part, right?
No, $0, bro. I literally got a $1 sheet from the Dollar General, a little yellow notepad. And I would drive around and I'd write down an address and I'd stop and I'd just handwrite it. Once I get to 50, then I would put them all in a text message and I just would send them off.
Yeah.
And she would say, hey, this works, that doesn't work.
The reason I ask you that is because a lot of people, what they use to hold them back and say, hey, well, I can't do it because I don't have the money.
Yeah.
Or I don't have, you know, they try to come up with excuses. I don't have education. How much? So basically, right now you're showing or telling us how you can get into real estate with no money.
Exactly. And after you get to that point, you start to realize you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
And that would be the next step. But the first step is
because right now you're giving them like potential clients. You're giving them away.
I'm giving them away.
And you're getting like, I guess, pennies, right?
Yeah, $500 to $1,000.
Yeah.
It's
and
really
what would they be getting? Like the realtor that's going to sell the property.
It all depends on how they pitched it. If they listed it or if they sold it to one of their private investors. But when I first started, there was some deals where I made $1,000 and they were making about $20,000.
Yeah. Okay.
But then it goes back to counting pockets, and I have to I have to get in the door, but. That's what was my first wake-up call, like, hey, I need to figure out more because I'm leaving too much money on the table. How do I get that 20 versus this 5? And so now, tables have turned, and now I give people that 5 or 1,000.
Now you give those people an opportunity the way that you started.
Yeah, and
they just come and bring you a list of properties that they found that could work for you, and then you give them a percentage of that.
And on top of that, I even give them $5 per lead that they send me just to keep them motivated to keep sending me leads. Yeah. I really want everybody to have freedom. And so every time I do a video, my videos literally are telling you how to make 6 figures in less than 6 months.
Yeah.
And I could sit down with anybody, and I'm so confident I can make anybody a 6-figure earner because I've done it already.
Yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding. Like, I can make a phone call to 2-3 guys and they say, yo, this guy changed my life off of just listening in 90 days. Now they're taking off and they're doing their own thing, and I'm happy for them.
Do you get a good response on the videos? Or do you get a lot of knuckleheads that just think you're full of it? Like,
for the most part, I get good responses. But every now and then, I got a couple of haters that'll be like, "Oh, well, show me the HUD." And in our business, the HUD is like, "Show me the statement that you made that much money." So of course, you got to play your ego, and you're like, "Man, should I show them?" Nah, I don't need to show them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get knuckleheads, bro.
Yeah, because one of the things I've seen that most of the time that you comment even on other people's things, it's always. A lot of knowledge behind your comments, whether it's somebody that's selling CDs or a concert promoter or whatever, and I see you spitting game to them. And so I wonder if a lot of people do take that in, or they're just like, I missed that, no side.
No vibe.
Yeah, because like Mexicans, like we are some fucking haters. Like we're some haters, like so I tell people, like, the number one way that, and this is for like I said, I want to speak to people that make money that I don't know how the fuck they make money, right? Because we have a big ego where I think that my hustle is the only way to hustle to make money, and that's not true. But us, or I feel like small business owners, they feel like my way is the only way to make money. I'm like, no, I'm in a business where I'm a guest, right? Because most people that do what I do are Middle Eastern, right? They're from the Middle Eastern.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm a guest, right? How I got in, I don't even know, right? And I bet you they regret it now because I'm taking so much space, right, with my products that they're like, whoa, who let this Mexican in, right? But I don't have the ego to be like, this is the only way to make money. That's why when I asked you to come on the show, I'm like, I want to know how other people make money because there's 1,000 ways to make money.
There really is, bro.
And people get in their mindset that only the way that I make money might make money, right? Yeah. Or if they see somebody, like, let's say a guy has a food truck, and then, I want to go get a food truck and I want to put it right next to him because he's making money. Mm-hmm. There's 1,000 ways to make money. And I think, like I said, I watched your videos and I watched your comments and I was like, yeah, I want to talk to him because I want to speak to business-minded people that know more than I do. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of things is that we hang around with the same 5 knuckleheads from the block, and that ain't gonna get you nowhere.
Very, very true, man. I always tell people, look around you and look at 5 of your friends. That's the average of what you are. Look at the average of what your conversation. If your conversation ain't about growth, money, scaling, family, and it's about women, drugs, partying, the next rap show, the next, have you seen the new Jordans? Oh, have you seen those conversations were had in high school. You're not growing. Yeah. You're really just still knowing the same thing. So until you step out your comfort zone, people are stuck there, bro. And like you said, everybody thinks that their way is the only way, or they don't want to take the risk, right? And I always tell people, you don't want to take a risk to make more money, but you don't want to take the risk to make less. It doesn't make no sense to me, right? Yeah. You wake up every morning and people say, oh, it ain't about money. Then why the fuck do you wake up every morning? Yeah. Why do you clock in every morning? Yeah. Because you need money, bro. Yeah. You know?
This is what I always say. You only need money to, basically you're using money as a coupon to purchase your memories.
Exactly.
What type of memories are you going to have depends on the money that you have. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You can have incredible memories spending $0.
Yeah, that is
but
true.
You want to take your family to a nice vacation, to nice places. And it's not because you're flexing, but at the end of the day, you're going to remember those memories. Like, yo, Dad took me to Disney World. Dad took me to WrestleMania. Dad took me to this.
Facts.
And so that's what I always tell people is money is really, no, it doesn't matter. But it does bring you great memories. And at the end of the day, when you're old and you're dying, and or even your children remember you, they're going to remember you by the memories that you provided them, that you gave them. So it is very important, especially depends on what type of life you want. Because I'll tell you like this: if you the guy that's making $50,000 a year, he might be happy with $50,000 a year.
He might be.
And so again, if you work 9 to 5 or whatever, you don't necessarily have to have the mindset of becoming your own boss. Because one of the things that I learned that it's a lie is that when you become your own boss, you don't answer to nobody. That is bullshit.
It is, man.
I answer to my clients. Yeah. I answer to my customers. They tell me, hey, why haven't you been to my store? It's empty. I have to rush over there and make sure that he has the great customer service so he can continue to buy my product. So if you ever think that you're going to be your own boss and answer to nobody, that's not true. Yeah. Even at your home, you have to answer to your wife and your kids.
More. Yeah. We're working 2 times more than we did when we worked for 9 to 5.
Yeah, people don't understand that. When you own your own business, you work more. So people, my friends were telling me, because we log on sometimes and play video games, right? They're like, hey, log on, it's Labor Day, you're your own boss. I'm like, it doesn't matter if I'm my own boss. You think I can just stop working? No, like I have more responsibilities to my employees. I have to get out there, make sure that my routes are ready. So on the weekend is when I have to get everything together for the week.
Exactly.
So
Sunday, like that's what I told her, I was like, Sundays are Monday.
Yeah.
Like I have to prepare for the week. Now you got payrolls, now you got employees, now you got deadlines, now you got CPAs and attorneys and title, and now it's no longer
insurance.
Just you. Yeah. Insurance, and then you're flipping properties. So now you got all of these moving parts, and everybody's depending on you.
Yeah. To me, is what I always say is this: so when you're making hundreds, your bills are hundreds. If you're making thousands, your bills are thousands. Once you start making millions, your bills are in the millions. So to me, I always feel like you're playing catch up. You're playing catch up because you're always worried about something. You're worried about making sure that you can afford the payroll. Inventory, taxes. So there's 1,000 things that people don't go into when they have, you're the boss. Like, it's so easy. And a lot of people want to become the bosses because they think, I'm going to have all weekends off. Yeah. I'm never going to work on a Saturday. I'm never going to work on a Sunday. I'm going to wake up at 10 or 11. I'm like, no, that's not true.
It doesn't work like it.
You're going to work more than you ever have. And literally, if you look at the money compared to your hours that you spent, it's never going to pay. It's never going to even out. Like, it's never going to be even scale. You're always going to work more than what you're getting, even if you're getting made millions, because you put so much time and effort to make everything happen and succeed. That it's never going to be an even scale where people are giving you your just dues for everything that you do. Exactly. Like, to me, like when my CPA, right, my accountant, he was like, hey, you got to take a salary. I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, what's the minimum amount by law that I could take? He's like, you can take $2,000 a month. Okay, that's what I'm gonna take.
Yeah.
And then I don't cash the checks. Cause I'm like, for what? What do I need to cash a check for? Right?
It's still going to the same bottom line.
It's going to the same. So to me, it's like if I could make everything into a business expense, then make it into a business expense, and then I have my checks that are just collecting dust. But
same thing. What we've been doing is we've been rolling. This is off subject, but we've been rolling some, and then we've been going into fiscal years just to kind of help taxes, bro.
Yeah.
Just go in a fiscal year with your business, and it'll help you pay less taxes because you're paying less.
And it's crazy because my first year, I thought I had to pay on. Let's say I made $250,000. I thought I had to pay taxes on $250,000. No, you're only paying taxes on what's profit.
Yeah.
So even if you have debt. Or you didn't make no profit. Sometimes it's even better because you're not paying anything.
Yeah,
I was scared shitless. I was like, fuck, I made $250,000 my first year. Fuck, what's 20-30%?
And you're doing it like I didn't even take this out of myself.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. I was like, fuck, I'm not calling and have to get into a payment plan. No, Mike, I was like, fam, like you're good, like you're gonna get a tax return and everything because you made no profit. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, so. Now I don't ever want to show fucking profit.
Now you're trying to figure out, you're like, let me roll this over here. That's what we're doing. So over here, we're like, all right, we're going to open another business over here. Let's open another business over here. So technically I profited, but then I rolled it back in.
Yeah.
I didn't profit. And so that's what a lot of people will be like, oh, this entrepreneur is a serial entrepreneur. Sometimes we have to be because the government wants to take it all, bro. Yeah. You know,
that's what we were telling you. Like, the people want you to show them the like how much you made.
Yeah, I'm afraid to because I'm afraid someone's gonna call me out and be like, make sure you report that 100,000 on that one check, and you're like, nah, don't do it, bro. I learned the hard way, bro. Like I've done it one time, and they're like, oh, make sure you're gonna report it. Bro, it was so bad. You can ask my wife. On my first year, I had made so many sales that I had got inboxed by so many realtors hating me. Telling me it was illegal to do this, telling me I need to stop doing that, telling me where's my proof of this. And it got to the point where I got this one that they actually reported me to the Better Business Bureau, said that I was buying houses, selling houses unethically, blah, blah, blah. That's how much I was selling, right? Yeah. We talked to them, sent them a reason, and I'm like, yo, where's the law I violated? What did I do? They're like, no, we're sorry, you're good. It's just... They complained and we had to address it. And I'm like, nah, here's my LLC, here's my documents, here's my paperwork, here's all my signatures.
So they're trying to throw a wrench in your plan?
Didn't hurt me. They're like, nah, so you go ahead, you have a great day. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pray for those realtors. I'm glad that you took notice. Yeah. But you would make money with me than against me. And so every time
a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, I pay my realtors way more than 3%. Have
you ever seen the movie The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, love it.
That guy's like, hey, what do you do? Like, show me the check stub of how much you get paid and I'll go work for you.
Yeah.
I wish more people were like that.
Yeah.
Like, in real life. I wish people would see that I'm succeeding, come tell me, hey, what are you doing and can I work for you?
Yeah.
No, they'd rather hate. They'd rather do anything in their power to stop you from succeeding. And that's the craziest thing. That's why I love The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm like, man, I wish I had people like that that see what you're doing. Yeah, and want to be successful as well.
I was just telling my wife on the way over, I was like, you know what's crazy is that I was looking at some of my own videos, right? And I was like, okay, look, if I follow... From here to here, I just learned how to contract my own deal, how to find free buyers, how to find a free seller. I just told people where to get a free contract, but they'd rather go watch a parking lot fight at Ojos Locos.
Yeah, or
they'd
rather
views.
They'd rather listen to somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's from San Antonio?
I want to hear it.
Let me watch Gary Vee instead.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I'm sitting on a platform with Gary Vee on a platform on a table, then it's like, he forgot about the hood. Yeah. He ain't about San Antonio no more. Yeah. He don't love it no more. Now you're like, come on, man. But when I was down here, y'all didn't love me.
No, that's the funny thing is the majority of my sales are outside of San Antonio.
Wow.
So
that says a lot.
One of the things is, I wish I would have got this warehouse in Houston or Dallas, right? Because the majority of my sales come from outside of San Antonio.
And it's crazy how I drive to Houston, the people are totally so welcoming. Like they want you to blow, they want you to move, they support you hard.
It's all about the money. So like in Austin, it's a money city. They don't hesitate. Like I show up with the product, I give them my pitch or whatever, give them the price. Yeah, bring it. I got 5 stores, I got 10 stores. All right, cool. Here, I think it's economics and maybe since it's not the biggest city, right? Yeah. San Antonio. That a lot the growth is there's not too much growth here. If you notice, there's not buildings being built. Like you go to Austin, like They just keep growing and growing and growing. You go to Dallas, you go to Houston, they're just growing and growing.
You see buildings every 90 days, brand new.
Like Austin, especially Austin, like that's, I've never went to a city where it's like money ain't nothing to them. Like I tell them the price, so how much is gonna be? I'm like, for something like this, probably about $3,000. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, bring it. I don't know when's the last time I had like a $1,000 account here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But
wow, that's crazy, man. I can see that though. I can see Austin being like that because they are real aggressive when it comes to sales.
Yeah, no. I will say, like I said, every city, but here, like I said, maybe I've already hit as many stores as there is to hit here in San Antonio, and like I said, that's why I've been trying to get further and further out. But now again, I'm only in certain parts of Texas, so a lot of the multi-million-dollar to even billion-dollar companies have started in San Antonio. And Texas, like H-E-B, right?
Yeah.
You got Whataburger, you got Luby's. Like, you just have so many companies.
Texas alone can make you a millionaire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I tell people are like, hey, why don't you make stuff for Cali? I'm like, fam, I don't even have all of Texas covered. Yeah. Like, Texas alone will take care of me if I just cater to Texas. That's going to take care of me. But going back to the real estate. So just right now, he already told you guys how to get into real estate. At least at the very bottom level, where it's just getting and listing properties. And what was it called again?
Bird dogging.
Bird dogging. Where you're just going around neighborhoods looking at properties, and then you turn them over to a real estate agent, right? Or
yes, sir. Real estate agent.
And you're able to get $500 to $1,000 just by doing that. So the main purpose of these conversations is to get everybody to learn how to get into, let's say, real estate, and if you want to be a barber, then talk to a barbershop owner. So everybody knows that there's a million different ways to get the money, and for you not to always feel like, hey, this is the route that I have to go because I have no options. You always have options as long as you know how to get into the game. And that's why I wanted to speak to you, because I'm like, there has to be ways to get into real estate, whether you have a lot of money in your bank account or you have $0.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that have $0 in their bank account, but they have great credit.
Oh yeah.
The person with the great
that's
credit,
more important than money.
That's more important than the money.
Yeah.
That person with the great credit can go to a prestigious area like Longhorn Investments. That's my hard money lending team, and can get a 650 credit score and leverage it for a $300,000 loan. Yeah. Then they can take that $300,000, use 150 of it, make 150, and now you're worth 6 figures. Now you can take out a deal, and you do that process 2-3 times a year, and now you're at $500,000. But
that is the most important thing you just said. The credit. So instead of taking out an iPhone or the brand new Hellcat,
for real,
do not fuck up your credit. Trust me, I've been in business. Important. I've been in business 4 years, and I think Lending Tree gave me working capital. Like, but I
Lending Tree's a good one.
I myself am not able to walk into a bank and get a loan because of my credit, right? So it's more difficult for me as a small business because I have to put all my money back into my business.
Yeah.
So
you're bootstrapping it every time.
Yeah. So the smart people know. You don't play with your money. You go and you borrow money and you play with that money.
Yeah.
And
you use other people's money to get rich.
Yeah.
You don't use your own money to get rich. And that's what people understand, is that you use other people's money to leverage it to become rich.
Yeah. And that's what the banks do.
All they do. It's exactly that's all they do. And the banks are leveraging all the lower income people. Yeah. They're using their money in stocks that people that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, because like I said, me being in business, I start, instead of listening to Gucci Mane, instead of listening to these fucking rappers, I'm listening to seminars and business people, and I'm learning, like, okay, so the bank takes all my money, they just give all my money to somebody else to lend it out. That guy's becoming a millionaire with my money.
Exactly.
But I can't go into a fucking bank, and I can't even withdraw all my money from the bank. They'll have like 2 or 3 days before you can get it, and maybe you'll be able to pull out $5,000 to $10,000 a day.
Yeah.
So it's crazy if you start thinking in a different light, like how the world actually works. It's just debt and loan.
That's all it is. And a lot of people think that, oh man, I don't got no money. Man, when I save up enough money, I'm gonna flip my first house. And I'm like, fam, what if I told you just need $5,000 cash and they'll lend you $300,000? That's all you need is $5K to get $300K flip a house. But if you don't want it, you're gonna sit here and tell yourself a story like, I need money to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert. I mean, you can pick up a phone call and call an expert.
Yeah.
You can negotiate something with them. Like, there's so many different ways to make money. Going back to real estate, once you do bird dogging, then you become a wholesaler. When you become a wholesaler,